video starts, I would just like to apologise for the poor sound quality, as I'm just using the mic on the camera. I don't have a lapel mic yet, but I will soon. Hi everyone, and welcome to an update video from the RRC workshop. So with the UK on lockdown and most of the population self-isolating, getting materials and parts for restoration projects is quite difficult. So I thought in the meantime I would make a small update video to keep you all up to date with what I'm going to be working on over the next few videos. And where better to start than with the Subaru, seeing as it's hero ready. Now if you remember back to the last Subaru episode, you'll know the plans for this car. But for those new to the channel, I'll give you a quick recap. So I took the car off the road and put it into storage many years ago now, hence the reason it's all covered in dust and crud. And I know this drives most of you nuts, but I'm leaving the cleaning and the washing till the very end of the project as a sort of marker for the end of the project, so we can all look forward to that. While it was in storage, I took the engine out and started rebuilding it. This was before I started making videos, so unfortunately I don't have any footage of the rebuild. The work that was done off camera was the heads and block were skimmed and decked, the pistons and rods were replaced with forged ones, and all the bearings were replaced with new uprated ones. So, in theory, with all that done, I should have a nice strong engine, and rod number 3 won't try to escape out the side of the block when we start increasing the boost. And that brings us up to the point where I started filming. What I done on camera was to strip and paint the engine bay, restore and rebuild all of the ancillaries, and of course, finish rebuilding and fitting the engine. I'll leave links to all those videos in the description, and also up here in the right corner. So, what's next you ask? Well, the next thing I'll be doing is replacing the old slant intercooler with the bigger and more efficient version 5 STI one. Now, at first glances you may be thinking that's no big deal, that'll drop straight in, but as usual it's not as simple as that. The first issue we come across when you look at it side on, because of its larger dimensions, it doesn't actually fit between the bulkhead and the throttle body, so we'll need to engineer our way around that problem. And then you have the secondary issue of all the bracketry being in the wrong place, so we'll need to make up new brackets to hold it all in place. Then the third issue we face is sorting out the pipework from the turbo to the intercooler, and at this stage I also need to figure out whether I'm including my original blow-off valve and the new pipework, or whether to go for a intercooler mounted blow-off valve. But obviously I would have to fit it to this side, as the original side has to be welded up due to the idle control valve being situated there. If anyone knows a reason why switching the blow-off valve from this side to this side would cause performance issues, could you please leave a comment below and let me know before I commit to this. I can't really see a reason why it would be detrimental to performance, but you never know, and there's people out there cleverer than me, so if you could let me know, that'd be great. Cheers. And that'll be about it for the modification side of things. What I will be doing is changing the air intake. I'll fabricate something out of stainless steel or alloy, just to make this a bit more appealing to the eye and get rid of the resonator box. But that'll be about it. Then we can fit the coolant system, nice alloy radiator, and if I can get the parts I'll be reinstating the air conditioning system. And that should be about it for the engine side of things, and then we can start thinking about remaps and where to take it. I had originally planned on using the Brembos I restored on this car, but as you can quite clearly see, there's just no way they'll fit under the small rims, and I'm not willing to sacrifice the retro cool look of the car for a set of big brakes. So what I'm going to do is I'll be switching the twin piston original calipers for Subaru's own 4-piston calipers, which are slightly bigger than this and provide a lot more stopping power, but will fit nicely under the wheel rim. And while I'm in upgrading the brakes, I'll be sorting out the damage that time has done. So I'll be replacing all the rubber bushes with new ones. I will be replacing the brake lines with stainless steel braided ones, as well as replacing the solid brake pipes with new ones as they're looking a bit crusty. I'll be fitting new ball joints, new drop links, and of course polishing the alloy wishbones back up to a nice shine, and refinishing the anti-roll bar steering arm, and of course sorting out the suspension. Now I don't know whether to keep it in standard shocks or switch over to coilovers, but that's a decision for another day. As well as doing all of that, I'll be cleaning all this up, giving it a coat of underseal, and painting any bits that need painted, just to protect it all from corrosion again in the future. That's about it for the Subaru update. Once all of the work is completed, we can get it all washed, detailed and ready to hit the streets. And now, on to the next upcoming project. And here it is. Obviously it's another motorcycle, but I'm not going to reveal what model until I release the first episode of the series. What I can tell you about the bike is that this bike is being built for a friend, and he is making all the stylistic choices. So the bike will be transformed from a sports tourer kind of bike into a cafe racer inspired creation. What I can also say is that this model was in production from the late 60s until the early 2000s. It's more than 600cc but less than 1200. It's an inline 4-cylinder with a 5-speed gearbox, and that's all I can really say without giving it away. The plan is to change the front end from standard shocks to modern upside down forks and add a nice set of big brakes, and possibly switch the rear end from a standard swing arm setup to a Ducati single-sided setup, along with lots of other styling changes to give it the aggressive cafe racer minimalist type of look. That's all I have for the moment, and me and George hope to see you again soon in another episode. Goodbye and stay safe.